Hi, I'm Andrew Cass. I'm an internet marketing and direct sales strategist. I'm also one of the top trainers and speakers on productivity and performance training for direct sales and network marketing professionals. And I run the Miami chapter of Glazer Kennedy Insider Circle right here in South Florida where I live. When I found Dan Kennedy, I think it was 2005-ish, and I was just making the transition from the corporate America traditional job in financial services where I spent about 10 years into the internet marketing and direct sales space, having a home business, wanted to work for myself, wanted to have the time freedom. And I struggled quite a bit at first because I just didn't know how to really work for myself. But Dan's philosophies on productivity, performance, time management were complete game changers for me early on, because it showed me how to be very productive working for myself and not having somewhere to report to every day, not having a job to go to every day. But then the marketing side of it was really the big impact. And I wasn't sure how my business would look working for myself in the years ahead, because I just didn't have a grasp on what we call direct response marketing. I understood advertising but didn't understand direct to consumer marketing. And when I got a hold of what Dan teaches and his style of marketing, it immediately made an impact on my business. I was quickly able to become a 7-figure producer in less than 2.5 years because of the philosophies that Dan teaches. I think my family life has gotten a lot better with this style of marketing and this style of doing business as well, because it gives me leverage and it gives me more free time. I have a little boy who's a little less than a year old, and I'm able to spend more time with him because I know that I have systems set up and I have people in place and I have leverage in my business. And ideally, what does that do? It creates more free time. And at the end of the day, what are most of us looking for more than even money? Time freedom. I think that the most specific things I can mention about how Dan's philosophies have changed my business is as far as differentiation, market segmentation, and just creating that unique selling proposition so that you can stand out and be more relevant in the marketplace. I think that a lot of people today are trying to be all things to all people, and if at the very least what Dan has taught me and what I've been able to teach team members and clients and private coaching members that I work with is to be real specific and to be real focused on who your target market is so that you can craft much more relevant messages for that audience. And that's exactly what I've done over the years. It's allowed me to see amazing results in my business, both online and off, because of that. And I firmly believe that if I didn't take that approach early on, so I say thank God I met Dan early on, I think that I'd still be trying to cast that wide net. And I think that that's a recipe for disaster in business, especially nowadays. The one thing that's worked the best and the most amazingly well for me since being plugged into Dan Kennedy style marketing is the emphasis that he places on copywriting and understanding how to use the written word to craft relevant messages to your audience. I think so many people just kind of wing it. And I think that the discipline Dan instills in his students on how to write better. I mean, at the end of the day, words are like weapons, they say, right? They can either hurt you or they can help you tremendously. And I think that the psychology behind using the right words and just understanding copywriting a little bit, as Dan teaches and nails home more than anything, has been the biggest game changer for me. I look at Dan sort of as like the stern father, right? Who every time I read his material, I know that he's like watching over me saying, you need to work harder, you need to be a better student of marketing, you need to be a better student of copywriting. And those are things that I think people constantly need to hear. They need to hear reinforcement that they can't just be always doing, but they need to kind of take a step back and be learning, and bettering their skill, honing their skill as a marketer. And I often use the analogy of a professional football player. Somebody in the NFL who's getting paid $20 million or $10 million a year, they spend 60% or 70% of their time in the film room studying other teams and studying football than they do on the field. So when you think about that, 70% of the time studying, 30% of the time playing football. Now, I don't know that the ratio needs to be like that in business, but it certainly needs to be close. And I find that ratio is often lopsided. So what Dan has instilled in me is as much as you need to be doing and taking action, you also need to be studying and honing the skills so that the action you do take is crisp, it's clean, it's productive, and you get more done and create leverage that way. The hardest mental hurdle of implementing Dan Kennedy style marketing is understanding that in order for you to be successful and in order for you to be relevant in your business and in your marketplace, it's going to take a lot of unlearning, and it's going to take a lot of getting out of the box of what we're traditionally taught as in marketing or advertising, maybe through school or through traditional books that you'd see on the bookshelf, and moving as far away from the norm as possible. Dan is a big believer in industry norms will keep you stuck, and always being stuck in the norm. What everyone else is doing usually is wrong. And if you have that philosophy of being sort of a contrarian when it comes to marketing and when it comes to growing your business, you will have much better results, but it will be a little bit uncomfortable. So that's usually the hurdle. That's why so few are successful, because so few are willing to be a contrarian and break free from industry norms.